of his Tron. Tron is an updated robotic format. So when you look at, so people are saying, what is bopping? Again, bopping Andre, the bop means, bopping is Dre's answer to what he wanted to do with his ideals and principles. Bob and Andre took certain things from the Electric Boogaloo. He took certain things from different sources, and he says this many a time. So bopping is robot. I mean, is Bob and Andre's his way of how he moves his robot. Tron is another form of robotic movement. So again, there's between 19 to 20 different techniques. 3D is one of them. Now, again, we have never ever shown these things, except me. I'm the first one that's trying to divulge. I wish Hurdle was here, but his connection's bad. You know what I mean? And you know, it's just that we are very we keep our styles pretty much to ourselves, if that makes sense. Right. We look at things like a martial arts, if that makes sense. We're coming from the era where everybody was pretty much like in their own areas. You know what I mean?
It looks like Hurdle's trying to get back on. Let me see if I can get him in.
Get him back on.
Yeah, let me see. There we go.
Yeah, he you know.
I'm here.
Hurdle, you gotta turn the yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, Hurdle, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. That's better. That's better.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I know there was a lot of lag. So.
Hurdle, you know, they want to know what Tron is. I told them that Tron is an acronym. You know, it knows for technique rules over all nations. Hurdle has never ever taught nobody. I'm his first student. You understand me? So Hurdle is very, to me, in order for me to become a Tron, I had to prove myself worthy.
And it wasn't easy either. I made him work.
So again, see, I think with a lot of times that I don't know if this guy's being like a smart ass. Can somebody please translate this English is too fast for Koreans to hear?
I think he's from Korea. That's why.
No.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, look. I don't know what you guys are trying to get, or you guys are trying to relay what Dre's style is to what our style is. Tron is 18 to 19 or 20. I'll say 20 different techniques. Now, again, these techniques are proprietary to us. So we are the ones that have this information. Now, we haven't allowed this information to be divulged as of yet. But when we come out with the information, then you will see that it has its own styles, its own beginnings, its endings, its middles, and all that. But again, we're just here to say that. See how his connection is lagging again, James. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. His connection is lagging. He needs to just. He has a bad connection out there. But we're not trying to. Again, bro, Tron is all these different techniques. And again, you know what I mean? He did take some concepts from the Legos and but again, it's a format and it can be tough. I learned it, bro. So it's definitely a teachable system.
What would be the reason to teach it to others, or would there be like something that would be like, okay, now you and Hurdle want to share it with the world? Is there something that you're maybe waiting for, or you want to see, or just not the right time? What do you feel?
No, I just think that for the most part, me and Hurdle, the thing about it is that the information is not, you got to remember, bro, when you're interviewing people about animation, there's not a clear definitive answer on what is animation. See, you guys are looking at things from your own lens. So whatever we say, a lot of times people are trying to defend their stance on what they think animation is. Again, animation again is from the movies. He said it. See, Hurdle explained it like a sequence of moves. If I go, it's stop motion.
Right.
If you look at
That's
the
what
way
it is.
how hold on, Hurdle. I'm trying to
Mhm.
explain to these people when
Mhm.
these animators were creating these films, they put these images of these characters on cellophane film. So what happened was that they was trying to imitate the character's movement, but they did it from they drew it, and then there was like a picture book. Ding, 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 ding. So what you
Mhm.
have is that you have a movement of stop motion.
Right.
You see, it's very clear to understand these things.
Right.
So what Hurdle is saying is that animation came in as an additive to the robotic movement to give it more flair, give it more creativity, and give it more pizzazz. So Bob and Andre's style is a combination of certain techniques that are definitely part of the LA family, but he does it his way. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Tron is something that this man did, and I added on my own concepts and theories. And what
Mhm.
happened was that it's like a ball of just different theories and different techniques together.
Right.
So again, Dre knows these techniques to a certain degree too. It's just about you have to use your own creativity to make your movement different from his. Again,
Mhm.
it's the street dancing, so
Right.
certain things are going to be different. We don't want to look like Bob and Andre, and Dre does not want to look like us.
Mhm. Mhm.
Everybody has their own way of how they move
Right.
their robot.
Right.
So
Right.
Tron is a system of an advanced robotic movement.
Okay.
That's what Tron
So,
is.
okay. Now
Yeah,
that makes sense. An advanced robotic
it's
movement.
an advanced robotic. Again, I think the problem is that I said this earlier on my IG that people now are very interested in this notion of animation, and there's not a clear definitive answer
Mhm.
because again, you guys are the new generation, but us as OGs are trying to say this is what the original format was. It was designed after stop motion,
Mhm.
um claymation, dynamation, all these things is explaining the claymation.
Mhm.
I mean, it's sorry, explaining stop motion.
Mhm.
Claymation is just the characters were clay, and they
Right.
were just trying to make them move like in stop motion. You see what I'm saying? These
Right. Right.
clay figurines. So
Mhm.
Tron is an advanced robotic
Okay.
style.
Mhm.
What Hurdle did not want to do was that he wanted to advance his robot, as he said, a move within a move. He said it right here.
Mhm.
Now, I gotta talk for Hurdle because his connection's bad. I think he's not understanding
Mhm.
the. What I want to tell people is that Tron is an advanced robotic form,
Mhm. Okay.
but it's more advanced than the robot. The robot is. I want to say this for the record. The robot is limited to a certain degree, and we know why.
Mhm.
You know why? You want to know why?
Mhm. Mhm.
Why is the robot limited? Ask
Mhm.
Answer that question for me. If you can answer that question for me, then I'll give you the secret. Why is the
So,
robot why is the robot limited?
like, what the
No,
why?
think about it real hard.
Mhm.
Why is the robot limited? Why is the robot limited?
Well, to be you have to be a robot, which in itself is limited. You can't go outside of being a robot.
Okay, now go a little deeper.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
No, 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 no. Now again,
The robot, you have to be a robot. If you're a robot, you cannot be anything else but a mechanical machine. It has to be robot, which limits it from being anything else. That's how I don't. That's where I see it. I don't know. I don't know. I can't go deeper. So
oh, it can go deeper.
I
I
don't. I
just
can't. But
no,
you want to
I
share
know
it?
what you're saying because
Yeah.
the one dude said because you're trying to act like a specific form. Yeah, to a certain degree, yeah. But again, technology advances.
Mm-hmm.
So as time progressed, that old robot stays in there. So
Right.
when the Tron comes in, it's a more updated
Robot.
robotic format. Yes. That
Okay.
old technology doesn't work. See, the problem I'm trying to tell you, Tron is a more advanced robotic creature.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Tron. Okay. Okay.
now you see what I'm saying?
Got
This
it.
is what
Okay.
Hurdle, again, I know what Hurdle's trying to say, but to make
Which.
it simplified, Tron is it's a way
So.
more like when I talked to Robert Shields last year, I
Mhm.
taught him stop motion animation. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then I was trying to explain to him his robotic form. We laugh at that stuff now. We laugh at that
Right.
because it's so old, it's so outdated. Like
Right.
that robot that people are doing, it's so outdated. It's like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Because
Okay.
again, what we did was that we took certain things in, well, Hurdle, and then I got it on later in Deuce and other proprietary things. Robot Prince is not a Tron, but Robot Prince's strengths lies in pantomime movement.
Okay.
That's his strength.
Mm-hmm.
And he does do animation and he does do 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So again, and this is part of the LA style of, as you would say, advanced LA robot, as you would say. And the people that hold that title of an advanced LA robotic style is pretty much um, Bob and Andre, me, Hurdle, Robot Prince. Um, Not too many guys, man. I'll be real with you.
Right.
Um, it's not too many guys that can really hang with us in terms of this.
Right.
But let me see what this guy's saying. A 70s, this is Hurdle. He said a 70s robot trying to put it into the futures is very difficult because you can't move it like you want to move, but you have to move to update. Again, I don't, what we're trying to be simplified, it's a more advanced robotic format.
Okay. And that would make sense because
Yeah.
the movie Tron is about it's like this robotic future, the video game
No,
that
but
they're
he's
inside.
correct. He's
Right.
correct. He got some of the concepts from the motorcycles. Not the actual way of, it's something deeper. It's again, it's deeper. It's not about the motorcycle. It's something that he took and he flipped it. So it's something that he took and he pondered on it. Again, it's a deep process.
Right. It's like
It took
his mindset almost. The
bro,
way
it's a creative process.
I
So
see.
when I had to learn Tron, it took it he took something and he twisted it and he, as he say, copy and paste. What he meant by that was that he said he was trying the concepts. So what he was doing was that he was trying to develop this thing of Tron. That didn't work. Okay, get this up out of there. I'm gonna try this. So that's
Okay.
how he taught me. So it was,
Ah, okay. Editing his own robotic style. He's editing
that's what I'm
himself.
trying to tell you. It's a creative process to where he was trying to figure out what works and what does not work. So Tron is a thing of trial and
Okay.
error. So for
Got
all you guys listening, to make it simplified, Tron is something that was a trial and error. So when he said copy and paste, he meant that if one thing did not work, he threw it out. So that's how he taught me.
it.
So if I go from here and here, boom, 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 okay, he'll be like, that works. You keep that. Now, some things does not work. So when he said the glove has to fit, that it has to be able to, you're creating your own style of a robot. So
Right.
that's what Tron did.
Got it.
So
Okay.
when Hurdle says copy and paste, that's what he meant. He meant that as he
Yeah.
was going, he was implementing this concept, if that concept did not work, he threw it up out of there and he came back. So
To make the most advanced robot he can.
that's what. So Tron is a thing of trial and error. So what happened was that's what it is. So
Okay.
again, we got these techniques, but we haven't showed this stuff yet. And you know, when I battled Bob and Andre, I got a lot of respect and admiration for Bob and Andre. We all do.
Oh,
But
yeah.
in
We do.
all due respect, if we told people, he was like, oh, they're doing my style. We're like, no, we have our own concepts. Hurdle taught me the concepts,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I already had a style, and I had to learn how to implement the style and make up my own stuff. So, like
Okay.
right now, I'm doing my format of Tron. Now again, it's all. If I do this, again, that's from trial and error. So Hurdle gave me the techniques, and he
Right.
said, in order for you, you have to see what works for you.
That's
So
right. That's right.
when he meant it has to fit like a glove,
Like a
you
glove.
have to you have to take all these techniques, and now you have to work them.
Okay. So would you? It sounds again. Correct me if
Okay,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
getting this right. That it sounds like Tron is a mindset versus a specific movement or type
It's
of.
it's a mathematical formula.
It's a
So what
formula.
you have to do is that you have to. It's always it's always a problem. Okay, put it like this: it's constantly you constantly trying to if
Mhm.
okay, it's a system of different variables. So each technique can be moved in certain ways, but you have to figure out how to move these techniques.
Yes.
So it takes trial and error. So
Right.
that's what Hurdle was saying. So that's why Hurdle says it might take you 7 to 10 years to master that. Because for
Okay.
me, it was difficult because you're doing 18 to 20 different techniques. So for me, it was difficult because I had to learn how to, it's like
Pull
putting
each
together.
technique, right? Pulling them all. Now the Lego makes sense. I understand the Lego now. That is, it's
Now
putting it's
again,
the building blocks. The
you have
building
to
blocks.
learn how to implement that, and then you have to
Right.
learn how to configure your own robotic. See, look,
Hmm.
by me being a Tron, Hurdle said you might get it, you might not. Now the answer is do your homework. This is
That's
why
it.
Tron is so complex
Mm.
because once you get the techniques, you're on your own. Like right
Right.
now, James, I can give you the techniques. I can teach you 3D. I
Mm.
can teach you mechanics. I can teach you a style called arcing that we do.
Yeah.
Mm.
All X. Again, bro, we have a system. Now
Got you.
it's up to you to learn how to move all these different techniques. See, what makes a good dancer in any style is how does he move his techniques. That's
I
why
see.
we say with Tron, it's an acronym. It means technique rules over all nations because we're using all these different techniques
Right.
to
Okay.
create our own way of how we move our shit. Now, the thing about it is that you have to figure out how to move this stuff.
Right.
That's where Hurdle says you got to
Yeah.
practice.
And that's the cutting and pasting.
Now, Hurdle, go ahead, Hurdle. Does that make sense, Hurdle?
Now you have to understand when I told Gizmo, he couldn't get a lick of what I told him do this. He did that, but I said do this. He did that. So if I put to get this together and come up, that's your format.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of a format of Tron.
Yeah.
It's the movement within a move.
I see.
See,
Okay.
again,
Yeah.
okay, look, the guy said this distortion liquid guy, okay. He said, okay, I can actually relate to um to his difficult explanation. As someone who teaches advanced liquid, it's hard to explain how to connect. Again, see, Hurdle's stuff keeps on. Yeah, that's his connection's terrible, horrible up over there. But he's trying. But
Yeah.
again, what I'm trying to say for Hurdle, I try to make things simplified. I understand that it's again to simplify it. It's different techniques that you have to learn how to connect the dots. You have to learn how to move these techniques. And I
Right.
try to explain to a lot of people that want to learn Tron is that for me personally, it was very difficult. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you.
Hmm.
It was extremely difficult. It was very perplexing, and it was very upsetting because I had to learn how to actually implement each one.
Okay.
So I had
Hmm.
to learn how to move all these different techniques to make it work.
Right. Right.
That's the hard thing about this.
Right. Okay.
Because with the robot, you have a certain type of gauge of how to move. With Tron, it's like I might do this, I might do this.
There's all the techniques. There's some okay, and which makes sense back to why the robot is limited because the robot isn't using 20 techniques or all the techniques.
Yeah, again,
Okay.
Hurdle, your connection is horrible, bro. You need to just stay off the
Man,
damn phone.
let me aberrate something for this thing act crazy. I'm about to throw this phone away from here to heaven.
Yeah, just yeah, it's no, it's not your phone.
Let me say that he said it, but James, people got to understand. I'm saying for everybody across to Tokyo, Japan, Hong Kong, I didn't say that nobody couldn't get it. I want to clarify that out. You may get one or two moves, but that don't mean you still got it. You may have a little bit of the crumb, but that don't mean you have the deepness of it. You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
a
because
kung fu teacher, now listen to this. A kung fu teacher never teaches students everything. It's like a back knuckle. If I do a back knuckle, he gonna follow, but after a while, difficulties, as Gizmo say, comes along with the training. I
Okay.
had to push him to a hard level of state to get what was in him to pull out of him because he would animate, man, that boy be animating all day and act, man. He said, how did I said, you wearing yourself out, man.
Hmm.
So what I did, I had to cut and paste, as he said. I had to do the Lego thing to get him where he need to go. But
Okay.
now he got it. Now he done moved on his own.
yeah,
So he just
basically,
flipped it and
yeah,
did what he did.
basically
Okay.
the introduction, what he's saying to simplify it is that each technique you have to learn. First of all, you have to master that technique. So if you do 3D, you have to first perfect that movement, that technique. Now the second problem is how do you amplify? How do you enter? How do you merge this in
Right.
with these other techniques?
Right.
And then you have to master the other technique, which is animation, stop motion.
Right. All the right.
So now you have to learn how to as he says, copy and paste, meaning that you have to move each one and then try to merge it in with this technique.
And merging them together is why it's a move within a move because they're
Again,
together.
you have to now you're starting to understand the gifts of it.
Hmm.
You have to first master the technique. Get
Right.
that technique clean.
Hmm.
Master that technique. Again, Tron is a system of 18 to 20 different techniques for sure.
Okay.
Um, and each technique you have to pretty much master them. Now I said this
Hmm.
on my page. One of them is dime stops.
Hmm.
Isolations is one of them.
Hmm.
Again,
Hmm.
you have to master all this stuff,
Right.
man. And
What would you?
then and
Hmm.
then you have to Hurdle. Just don't come in here no more, Hurdle. Your phone is tripping, man. Your phone is tripping. We just gonna let me talk because your phone keeps lagging. I love you, Hurdle, but your phone is tripped out. But hopefully, man, that can um make it more simplified.
Yeah. No. No. Totally. I now after what you've just shared
Yeah.
and also hurdle
Again,
confirm it makes it. I yes. I think I
now
understand a
again,
little more.
remember if I was to teach you, okay, you want to become a Tron, I have to introduce, I have to spoon feed you because it's like you're a software. Everything is like it takes a while to upload
Right.
each, you know what I'm saying, each different technique. And then you have to master and get that movement of that technique as clean as possible.
Mm.
Now the hard part is how do you merge these techniques together?
Right.
So now you have now it's called problem solving. Now you have to figure out. It's like wearing an outfit. Okay, put it like this.
Right.
You know how like when you wear an outfit, you go into a closet.
Right. Right. Right.
Now again, I'm painting a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you open your closet up.
Okay.
You got all these shirts,
Right. Right.
right? And now
Mm.
you're like, damn, I wanna wear this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be dope. Let me wear this. Oh, that'll be dope. I'm gonna wear this.
Right.
Yeah, that's how Tron is. You
Got
got
it.
all these different techniques, and it overloads your brain. So
Right.
now you're trying to figure out which one looks the best.
Right.
So again, I'm gonna put it in the dance form. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because now, if I go from here, I know okay, that's one. Then I can go from here. I can take my hat off, go from here.
Right.
I can do all kind of different because now I know how to work the techniques.
Right. You've mastered the techniques, and you mastered multiple techniques, and you
I
know how to
know how to
blend
put them. I know
together.
that's what Hurdle means by a Lego. You know how to put everything together. That's what he was trying to explain.
Got it. Okay.
Each each Lego is like a technique. So when he says the Legos, each Lego part is a different technique and they have to connect.
Okay.
It makes perfect
Yeah.
sense now, huh?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
I'm a Tron.
Yeah.
So how Legos connect, that's
Right.
how Tron. Each Lego piece is a different technique.
Right. And how
So
you
with
go in, how you go out and in of one technique to the other.
that's
That's
that's that's how you. That's the hard part. You have to figure out which tech. See, it's like throwing on some clothes. You're like,
right.
damn.
They don't.
You
Right. It
see,
doesn't always.
you
Right.
see,
Work. Some
see.
stuff doesn't work.
But see, that's the beautiful part about this art because you're able to create your own painting, your own canvas.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
See, now
That
you
makes sense.
smiling. See.
No, because I get it. I'm getting.
Now
I
you
get
get it, right?
it.
See,
Yeah.
it's the beautiful thing when you get it, because I'm a Tron. I know what he's trying to convey to y'all, but each Lego is a different technique, and they have to connect. You have to learn how to connect these techniques together.
Right.
Now, if
Okay.
I go from here, 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 now from here I might get stuck, but
Right.
now I can flip it. See how I connected that?
Yes. Yup. Yup. You just went somewhere else with it. Yeah. Somewhere else with it.
Now here,
Eh, eh. Right. And you're right.
see, I know how to do all these different techniques now because I know how to move them. But the hard part was trying to connect each technique to make it fit and work. That's what Hurdle meant by the glove.
Got it. All right.
Okay.
Got it.
So
Okay.
again, for the audience, Tron
Let me see if I
Tron is
can.
basically it's a very advanced robotic. I wouldn't. It's a when we say robotic, it's an advanced movement of all these different techniques, and you have to learn how to work
That
them.
makes yes. That makes okay. I get what you're
Right
saying.
on.
Okay.
Let me say something, James. Um, when I say Legos, the Legos has to fit the slot. See
Yeah,
how my hands
we
in?
already explained it, Hurdle. We already
It has to
explained
fit
it.
the slot. You
Hurdle,
know.
Yeah.
don't explain no more. They already got it. They already got it. Hurdle,
Yeah. No,
don't.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
But
don't.
see, I kind of
They
kept.
already
I'm not
got
saying that. I'm gonna say this. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this.
it.
I'm not saying people can't get it,
No,
but
we
it took
already
me
know that.
all.
Yeah,
It took me years, man, to
I know.
develop
I
what
just told
had
him
to
that,
be
Hurdle.
done. You
What
know, that's all I'm saying. That's
what
It,
would
all.
you
yeah,
would
because you got to learn how to hurdle. When I learned from Hurdle, I had to learn how to work all these different techniques. It takes time. So when Hurdle
And
was
James,
teaching me, he was like, "You have to learn how to put these different techniques and make them work like an outfit." So
here something I want to share then now that we've gone to the point I understand more of this mindset of Tron and the techniques
yeah,
putting them
yeah,
together. But now that I understand that, now my thought comes to, what do you think of the current generation if they want to learn? If they reach out to you, Gizmo and Hurdle, and they say, I just saw you talking about this Tron thing. I would love to learn that. Would you accept people learning, or
Yeah,
would
I
you
told
keep?
Hurdle. It's now Hurdle's my OG. Now go say something to Hurdle.
Well, one thing I can't say this. I'm gonna say it this way: when you're with a bunch of group of people, you have to be tried and tempted. So if I told you, like I told a guy named, I told a young kid, no name, to get a Rubik's Cube, I'm testing you to
Yeah.
see if you will be able to do the Rubik's Cube. It's just a test.
Okay, can you explain the Rubik's cube again? For
Okay, you know how a Rubik's Cube look, right?
Right, you have to make the match the
You
colors.
have
They're
to
all
mix
mixed up.
it
Yeah.
up to put it back to where it needs to be.
As
Right.
again, now
And
can
I
I say
talk,
this? He's saying that that's how Tron is. Again, remember, you have to learn how to put all these different techniques
So
together.
okay, so
Now,
you give.
hold on. Again, he's saying when he gave this guy this Rubik's Cube,
Uh-huh.
he was
yeah,
trying to test him to see how good is his mind work.
Fine. To
He's
put
trying
it
to see
together, God.
each, again, we're putting together our own entire, you as a Tron have to learn all these techniques and how to create your own movement, your own
Got
with
it.
these
You have to
techniques. So
figure
that's
it out.
why when Hurdle gave him the Rubik's Cube and the homie was like, what does this mean? He was
Right, right.
see
Exactly.
again, brother. Listen, man,
It's
we know what we're talking about. Again,
Yeah.
bro, I'm just trying to make it more simplified
Right.
because I know what my teacher is saying, but
Right. That yeah, because
again,
I don't know. Again, I'm not at the time. I'm not around the time when Hurdle or you are around, and
yeah,
the way current generation, the way people talk, it's hard. Like the translation gets lost through generations. So
yeah, yeah. Because
having you kind of like the middle person, you're able to
yeah,
translate.
because again, remember from the inception of street dance, from the OG's perspective, they took it like it was martial arts. So you had to prove yourself worthy in order to get the access of this information. So what the young people don't realize is that the older generation, they used to test you to see if
Mhm.
you was worthy to accept the first teachings. So that's how I was taught by Deuce. Deuce
Right.
was like, let me test this boy's mind to see if he's sharp enough and if he's diligent enough and he's humble enough and patient enough to take the critiquing, because Deuce was very difficult and he critiqued the F out of me. So he was testing my emotional amplitude. And that's what Hurdle was saying right now. He said,
Right.
that's what I've been trying to tell everybody. It's like martial arts. You have to be, again, that's why I'm saying to make it simple for you guys to digest. The OGs were very secretive with their information.
Mhm.
So they wanted to see if you was worthy to become their pupil, their student. It's like martial arts. Then, in order for you to become your own master at what you do, you have to prove yourself worthy. So you have to get these techniques. Now it's up to you on how to move everything. You got to figure out what works the best for you. Now, when Hurdle was teaching me, he said, you're on your own. Because he said, I'm giving you all the information of how to become your own. You can become a Tron. But now you have to figure out how to place it,
Right.
how to move. And that's your homework. It might take you 10 years. It might take you 2 years.
I
It might
think
take, go
I was
ahead.
gonna
Sorry.
just say that it just brings up a very interesting point where you're saying about how back then again the OG's keeping the information and that you have to prove yourself. That's very interesting because I feel nowadays I don't really hear that or see that, but I can see why you need someone to prove in a sense to show, do you really want to learn this? Are you really gonna take this and push it, or are you just you want to learn and then you kind of just drop it? So I
Because
can see.
you're
Mhm.
right. Because the thing now with the new generation is so much workshops.
There's a lot of
So
information out. It's
so
just
what happens is that this is the problem I'm trying to tell you. The problem is that Hurdle told people all the time. They like, look, I want to add Boogaloo to um there's one guy, I won't say his name. He wanted to become a Tron, but Hurdle was telling him like, you can't add Boogaloo to this because it won't work.
Mm.
And the homie was like, nah. And then Hurdle was like, bro, just some things don't, again, some things you got to remember, this is the age of the workshop. So say, for instance, you take some of the information and then you try to work it with somebody else's movements or their ideas. And now you're like, how does this work?
Right.
How do I see? Again, the thing with being an artist is that you have to learn how to create your own style and your own flavor in your own way of how you move these different techniques. I mean, we're all dancers, right? We all have a love for the art.
Right.
So, sorry, I'm in my car. But again, this is the problem that in order to become a great dancer, you have to try to figure out how to either move. Same thing with a popper. A popper has a plethora of techniques. He has ticking, waves, touch, floats, robot.
Right.
So he has to learn how to move everything together in piece. It's the same principle.
Right.
It's the same ideology. Now with Tron, it's all these different techniques that nobody else is really doing to a certain
Right.
degree. So when we do it, people are like, damn, what is this? But
Right.
the part is that you have to try to figure out how to move these techniques. And
Right.
'cause
Exactly. Okay.
I can show
No.
you, but the hard part is like, are you willing to take the initiative to learn it, and then try to
Right.
figure it out? And it might take you a year. It might take you 6 months. It
Right.
might take you
It's up
10
to
years.
you. It's up to the person. It's really up. It's individual. It depends the person.
So I hopefully, man, like I say, I'm sorry that Hurdle's reception, but I'm his student and I'm his pupil, and I can directly correlate that Hurdle is the OG. He's 60 damn near years old. So he's comes from a perspective of he's from the old school where it's like martial arts. It was very like, it was like,
Yeah,
let me
like the
see.
movie, like the samurai films. They're like, let me prove
Yeah.
to me, like
So
you,
when he
you know.
first met me, he was like, let me see if this guy is
Right.
serious.
Right.
And if he really, because again, he didn't want to waste his time up on me and stuff. So he was like, okay, he's worthy. And then
Right.
as time progressed, it was difficult. It was difficult to learn all these different techniques.
Right.
I had to learn how to do pantomime. That was in itself is very, very difficult.
Right. Right.
Um,
Somebody said wax on, wax off, like Mr. Miyagi, the Karate Kid. Is that
well,
kind
I
of
say, yeah, if you
mindset?
want to say, it
You
was
know.
like, not like, in a sense, bro, but like, again, it's not like a year long process. You got to go through initiations and nothing like that. It's just he's saying he wants to know if you're serious
Mhm.
to learn. He don't want to. Again, a person does not want to waste their time on a person that's not going to want to put this into action. You know what I mean? So again, he's not telling me to hold the cheesecake and walk on a
Okay.
line
So,
and all this crap. He's just, I had to, like how he said, my hurdle saying, he had to earn it. My that brother used to go off of me, but I love him. Yeah, Hurdle will tell you. But damn, I wish this reception was good. But I'm glad I was here to.
yeah,
'Cause
no, for sure.
again, I
I just wanna, because I feel like it's pretty clear what we've talked about, what you've shared about Tron,
yeah.
what Hurdle shared.
Like, okay,
My
now
last.
look, I'm gonna show you. Put put your hand up. Put this arm up like this. Now
Mhm,
use your other arm.
mhm.
Now connect them. Now disconnect them. Now move that arm down. Now move it down. Now move your head this way. Move it back. Move it down. Move it up. Move it like this. Move it like this. Move it like this. See? That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm just, it's so much stuff that you can do. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna just keep doing
Look, man. All I'm saying is that I know how to look, man.
that.
I know what to do. We know
So,
what to do with this stuff, James. Again, I know what we know what to do with you, brother. Again, anybody wants to learn, I know how to teach this stuff. Hurdle does too.
okay,
Again, I know what to teach, man. And
okay,
again, I'm not. I love. Listen, man. For the record, I'm glad. I really appreciate you bringing us up on here because I think for the most part that people look at me and be like, "Oh, Gizmo, he's so brash." My thing is that it goes Hurdle. What you guys say, Hurdle?
Well, when I was messing with James on comment, I said, he ain't got a friend, James. I was messing with him.
See how it's going? This connection is.
Because understand, James, when you move it, when that area, it's effective. That's why I told you from the beginning, I gave you, it's an illusion. David Copperfield don't know everything. It's a move within a move. It's a move. That's what I call it. We come from here, but it's a move. If Copperfield go here, so they gotta go here. Boom. See what I'm
It
saying?
keeps on lagging.
Boom. You know what I'm saying? So when you do it, I tell people all the time, I'm not saying it again. I'm not saying nobody can't get it. Saying what I'm here to.
yeah,
The connection is bad.
What's on the other side? You can't get on the legacy, and whoever's sitting up under him can carry it on. And that's what he did.
That connection is bad.
Techniques to give it what he did. It's a legacy. That's all. It's
me.
Well, I love Hurdle. That's my teacher. That connection is Hurdle. That connection ain't no joke, boy.
y'all better leave me alone. Y'all better leave me alone before I go.
I was just
Y'all better leave me alone.
I just got one last question. I feel like that we could end the interview now because I feel it's a great information what we've gone to. The last thing, just to make clear for everybody listening and people watching, to clarify again, if people are interested in learning, can they message you and reach out to you?
Trying to let Hurdle talk, but his connection is, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess I. Oh wait. Oh, okay, Hurdle. Did you hear my
Yeah,
question?
go ahead.
My question is for people that are interested in learning Tron. Can they message you or reach out to you?
Yeah, they can. They can email me at David 1965 Eldridge ELDRIDGE at gmail.com.
Okay, great. So it's your Instagram username at gmail.com. Okay.
Yeah, that's my email.
Well, they can reach
David.
him out. Can they reach you, Hurdle, up on your on Instagram page? Tell them your Instagram page.
It's David Eldridge. I believe it's 442.
No.
This
This
one
one
right
that you're
here.
on
Yeah,
is
David
David.
1965 Eldridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it right
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
That's it.
So people that are interested, now you can message Hurdle
My
and
thing
yeah.
is that honestly, man, I'm gonna tell Hurdle. Again, I've been telling Hurdle that we need to start teaching it, but again, this is my sensei, so it's up to him. If he,
Well, let me say this for the record for everybody to go running their mouth and hear from me. I'm not gonna be easy. I'm not going that you got it now. You want to go off. The Lord would tell me what you're gonna do. So I'm a pastor. I already hear God. What I'm saying is this: if you serious, come with the intention being serious. You know, be real with it. Don't play with it. Don't think this is to get fame or fortune. If you do that, don't come to me. Go on about what you want to do, because we done had people say they want to come and they want to get the format and then run a runway, but don't acknowledge me and Gizmo who we are. You see what I'm saying? I know a guy, no name, that Gizmo talk creeping. He won't even acknowledge Gizmo, but we still love the brother. It's okay.
Okay.
yeah,
Yep. There.
creeping. For the record, creeping. Can I say this? The LA creep is not like the LA creep comes from okay, the creep comes from me robbing you with a
Mm.
gun.
That's
The
how it
creep,
started.
the concept comes from me like I'm sneaking behind you to like mug you. So
Mm.
when I talk this person, I say when you creep, 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 you're moving like you're a criminal. The
Mm.
whole concept of the LA creep style comes from a criminalistic mentality. Like you're getting ready to you're getting
Right,
ready
right,
to
right,
break into a house and you're
Mm.
so
right.
again, I know the Bay Area has their own way how they creep. With
Right.
us, it comes from a street mentality of we're getting ready to rob you, but we do it in the
In a
sense where
In
sneaky
the
way, a
dancing floor.
sneaky like
In the
if
dancing floor.
if I go ding, see, I'm
right,
creeping
right,
like,
right. Like hiding, I'm hiding, you're
but
hiding.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
it is.
doing this, I'm doing this technique of,
Right.
you
Right,
know what I mean?
right,
Again, but the whole ideology is that I'm trying to rob you, but I'm looking for victims. Like,
right, right,
see,
Right.
right.
again, that's where the concept comes from. So I taught this
Okay.
individual and I told them like, that's what it comes down to. Because we got to remember the streets
Right.
imitates this art. So
Hmm.
again, a lot of this stuff comes from
The street, right.
mentalities of how a person from the street will act. How he will hold his beer, how he will stand, how
Hmm.
he would his different mannerisms and things of that
Right.
nature. But yeah, for sure. Like I say, for all you guys listening to Hurdle, Hurdle's from the old school. It's no disrespect, no pun intended. He's very traditional. He's a very traditional individual, and he comes from that old school to
Hmm.
where he just wants to make sure that you're serious. He did me the same way. He was like, "I'm not going to teach you if you're not going to be serious." You know what I mean?